Now, it's a new political war, but not like ones that we have been seeing within the ODM party that include, of course, family disputes between the Jaramogi and the Odinga, or power dynamics between the young and the older generations of the ODM party, or just the two factions between the parties, the ODM party members that are supporting the broad-based government and the ODM members that feel that is not their way to go in 2027. Now, today in this story, we are looking at the coastal part, where from Nyali now, Honorable Mohammed Ali is daring the power dynamics of Mombasa that include the current ruling governor of Mombasa County and of course the cabinet secretary that comes from the Mombasa region, that is Honorable Nasir and Honorable Joe respectively. So why would Mohammed Ali take on against Honorable Ali Hassan Joho, or why would Mohammed Ali take on against the governor? Does he want the gubernatorial seat, or does he want control of Mombasa? Now, if this is your first time interacting with the People's Mirror, please hit the subscribe button as we delve into this particular analysis and more. But let's go back to this story. You see, for Mombasa, it has been a strategic ODM control area for quite some time. The coastal backyard has been the ODM backyard. But it's also important to understand how do you then get the ODM party ticket from the coastal part. And for most important timelines that we can look at from the past, you have to be close to the power dynamics around the Mombasa area at that time to secure the ODM party tickets. Now, by power dynamics mean you have to understand who is calling the shots in the Mombasa area and who is closer previously to Raila Amolo Odinga, because this was an ODM backyard. Now, Mombasa area is facing a new political wake. This political wake is one that is happening post Raila Amolo Odinga's influence of the coastal area, and with the rise of certain coastal leaders that other individuals feel are now fit to take over the control of Mombasa. So kisikiza wakiongelea story kama hakuna mazungumzo zozote within the ODM party without Ali Hassan Joho, these are strategic talks that are positioning someone like Ali Hassan Joho to become the spokesperson of the Mombasa area. But in Accra, this is not what all the members of parliament from Mombasa area are pushing for. And Honorable Ali Mohammed is just one example of maybe the silent voices that are happening or are arising out of the Mombasa area. Now, let us put this to context. For most politicians, as we have said, you have to come closer to the power or the person that is calling shots, or the person that previously was close to Raila Amolo Odinga, for you to get the party ticket around the Mombasa or the coastal area. But how did Mohammed Ali get into the Kenyan political scene? For Mohammed Ali, the path was different. As much as it could have been attributed to some closeness of certain power dynamics, then it was a different entry from this history. Mohammed was running Jichopevu for quite some time, which was a media platform that offered the fourth estate or the fourth angle when it came to running the government, and they would talk about issues that are arising out of government. They'd cover assassinations that come out of government, they'd cover corruption statements out of government, and this offered Mohammed Ali a platform of his own, independent of the power dynamics of Mombasa, to be voted by the residents of Nyali to become the member of parliament for Nyali. Now he's inside, a member of parliament for Nyali, and right now he's attacking directly the governor and is also attacking Ali Hassan Joho. The question is, how will this position him in 2027? First, is he going for the gubernatorial seat? Or number two, is he not afraid of losing the power control that might affect his seat in Nyali should he decide to go back? Or are the people that voted him inside without the power dynamics going to stand with him? So before we make more political comments about these statements that Mohammed made and that he has since shared through his social media platform, let us first listen to what is he saying and why is he saying it right now.
Mulidanganya Raila Odinga mpaka akakufa. Mulidanganya mkashikilia koti yake mkamwaibisha mpaka akakufa. Leo waambiwe Raila Odinga Junior anaitwa Mohammed Ali, amezaliwa hapa Nyali. Baba alikufa mkamwachilia, hamukwenda hata kujua hali yake. Alipopelekwa hospitali haukuwa mnaenda kumwangalia, akiwa analemewa na maisha hamkuenda. Leo kila siku mnaimba na jina ya baba. Acheni baba apumzike, Mwenyezi Mungu ailaze roho yake panapolazwa wema. Wewe sasa ukuje bila baba na mimi nikuje bila baba, tukuangane hapa mbele ya watu. Walidanganya mzee Raila. na mzee alinipenda sana, wakaninyang'anya tikiti, wakanifukuza nje, na sasa hawana mtu wa kushikilia koti. Sasa wamekuja na ingine inaitwa broad based, ile ingine ya Uhuru inaitwa handshake, hii sasa inaitwa bro. Wakora wote wameshikana, wanataka kurudi kwa viti bila ya kusaidia wananchi. Niseme leo mnamuona huyo gavana wenu, mnamuona huyo waziri wenu, mnawaona hao viongozi, mtawaona kuanzia mwezi wa 6. Wataingia mitaani, watakuja mpaka kwenye harusi ya watoto zenyu, watakuja kucheza na watoto wenu mpira, wakitafuta wajinga ili wapate kura. Waswahili wanasema wajinga ndio. Safari hii waambiwe hakuna wajinga tena hii Mombasa. Na mimi nimejitolea kuongoza jeshi ya nchi kavu. Si mmenipa ruhusa? Endeni mwambie huyo Mungu wenyu Abu Joho na huyo Joho wenyu, waambiani ambaki, nimerudi. Hamutapanga hii Mombasa, wananchi ndio watapanga. Na huyo mwingine anagawa unga, wao ajielewi, endeleeni kula unga nyinyi. Si namna hiyo? Huyo ajielewi, huyo ako dunia yake huyo.
There's a very interesting take coming from Mohammed Ali. Now let's go back to the politics of Nyali and Mombasa. Now Nyali is a very central place in the running of Mombasa because it's a key area in the central business district that is Mombasa. And Mohammed Ali, having secured that particular part of Mombasa County or that particular part of the coastal region through the popular vote, also confirms some influence of Mohammed Ali within the Mombasa area. Now from the news bite that Ali is talking about, you have understood a few things. One, he's talking of now a new Raila that of course reincarnated from the Mombasa region, and a young Raila that is himself. Just that part of the news, but before we make a lot of other political comments and go to another story. You see, right now the ODM party is facing this particular challenge of the people that have been running or steering the wheel vis-a-vis the young spirits that want to steer the wheel post Baba. And for the people that have been steering the wheel for quite some time, Baba left them at very comfortable places of power that give them authority and resources over the younger that are hungry to steer this vehicle. But the younger version of the ODM party believe that if they are given the mandate of this party, then they are fit to steer it moving forward. And so these conversations might be happening at the central part of the party, but then they are replicating in every part of Kenya, and you can see them in every communication where the antagonizing parties are the elder member of the community and the younger member of the community. And so in this spirit, Mohammed Ali is positioning himself in the Mombasa area as the young reincarnation of Raila Odinga. He goes ahead and dares the governor, and this is a very interesting political statement he makes come 2027, because is he daring the governor over the control of Nyali and Mombasa area, or Nyali constituency within the Mombasa county, or is he daring the governor and the likes of Joho over the control of Mombasa county come 2027? And if he's daring them, for example, the gubernatorial seat of 2027, because we've seen young people going for these seats, including Babu Owino from Nairobi, then is this a path that is going to win against both the deputy party leader of the ODM party, which will still have some, of course, ODM support because he's currently the deputy party leader, and of course Ali Hassan Joho, who was also a former deputy party leader. Now for that, we would love to know in the comment section, if for example you're watching us from Mombasa, what is the ground saying? If you go to the ballot in 2027 and the options you have is the current deputy party leader of the ODM party, Honorable Nasir, who is the governor of Mombasa, and you also have Mohammed Ali in that ballot, who are you going to vote? But also, if you're not voting from Mombasa, and of course you are a lover of Kenyan politics, what is your comment on this new fight that is enveloping from the Mombasa area? You have heard him. It says during Uhuru time, Joe, who he calls Mungu Wao, actually brought in what they were calling the broad-based government. Now for this one, he called the handshake government. For this one, he says they have been brought for the broad-based government, but is daring both Joho and the governor that he says does not actually have a clear understanding of himself to meet him in the ballot in 2027. So ladies and gentlemen, Mombasa is boiling just like every other part of Kenya, and political alignments are taking shape in that particular part of the country. Your comment on where you stand, whether you're going with the Joho unity to unify Mombasa County and bring one political party that would negotiate for the coastal region, or you are going with the Mohammed Ali to become the new face of the ODM party in Mombasa area, please let us know in the comment section. Now, while also still talking about the same spirit, because the apple never falls so far off from the tree, there's also the conversation that is going on right now about Oburu Odinga having weakened the negotiating power of the ODM party. Now, how did people arrive at this conclusion? There was a conference meeting that Oburu attended alongside the President William Ruto and Honorable Deputy President Honorable Kithure Kindiki, and this was the rolling out of the Nyota program, I think somewhere in Kisumu. Now, in this conversation, this was the first time that Oburu was being put in the spot to ask for what the ODM party wants, and also at the same time also ask it in front of the current deputy president. Now, the reason why this was difficult, if you've not understood the whole concept, ladies and gentlemen, is because prior Oburu Odinga had said that they're not going for anything other than the deputy president position within the ODM party. Now, he had a chance to say the same statement in front of President William Ruto, but Oburu deviated and said something else, confirming people's apprehension that perhaps this is why Winnie Odinga and other likes are a little bit apprehensive when it comes to Oburu Odinga steering or negotiating effectively for the ODM party. So first, let's listen to what did Oburu say, and then after that we make a political statement whether or not it weakened or strengthened the negotiating power of the ODM party in their current broad-based arrangement.
Mimi ninawaambia ya kwamba hivi hapo tukiendelea mbele, we are going to talk to UDA, and we are going to lead, and we are going to make sure that we get more than what we have now. You can see already we managed to talk to them to rise, and we managed to get for you this good ministry which is being led by Oparanya. We also got the Ministry of Energy. We also got the Ministry of Finance, which is the heart of the government. Pale pesa yote inakuwa inapangwa. Na Tandi Meli pia amekuwa chairman ya budget committee huko pale pesa inadini. Lakini as we move forward, we are not going to look for less. Lakini deputy president, usifikiria ya kwamba tunataka kiti yako, tunataka kukufukuza. Please, you are our friend, but as we negotiate, we are going to negotiate what our people deserve. We are going to negotiate what our party deserves. Our party is not a Jaluo party. It is a party for the whole of Kenya. And therefore, we are going to negotiate fairly. We don't want tribal parties. Hatutaki tribalists kuongeza nchi yetu. So we are going to negotiate, and we are not going to take anybody's share. We are only going to make sure that everybody gets their fair share in the national cake.
Now, interesting. That is the position of Oburu Odinga. Before even we go on to the aspect of bringing emotions into negotiation, let us first start again from recapping on what is Oburu talking about. So first, Oburu is talking about having conversations with UDA. UDA is the current ruling party that is being governed by President William Ruto, and in our other episode at the Civic Lands, we have recapped their latest national delegates convention that was, it was not actually a national delegates convention, it was the aspirants convention that was being held by President William Ruto at State House. You can find that story on the Civic Lands. But talking to UDA is not bad. It's just that As per the document that they have been working with or working around with, that is Honorable Orengo and Honorable Winnie, the writing of Raila Amolo Odinga was that until the 10-point agenda is met is when they're supposed to proceed to this particular negotiation that they're talking about. And that is what the other camp has been talking about. So this is the basis of why Oburu was supposed to have a family meeting with Honorable Ida Odinga and the family on the 1st of February this month, which we have not since detailed whether that family meeting happened or the contents of that particular family meeting, if it did happen. But now he is going against the desires of the younger members of the party, and he's saying categorically in his speech that they're on talk with UDA. Okay, that's okay. Then he gets to a more, he's saying that they're going to look for more than what they have now. So more than what they have now could include more people in the ministry, more than what they have now could include more appointments into PS positions, more than what they have now could even include more resources. But it seems like the focus of Oburu Odinga, and I hope this is not the focus of the ODM party, is that the negotiation ought to have given them control over resources. Because when you listen to Oburu, he talks about now the ministries, including finance, that he's so proud that Mbadi is leading, and also the fact that he's so proud that Atandi is the chairperson of the budgetary committee, as if the biggest thing that was for the ODM party in this entire negotiation was to control money or control government resources. But this is far from the truth, because from the other camps of the ODM party, they're talking about a 10-point agenda where they laid out the things that they wanted done before March 7th, 2026. And they actually hold that if these things are not done by March 7th, 2026, then there is no talks of moving forward. But that aside, this is the interesting part. You are walking into a negotiation for a position of someone, and the first statement you're making is enticing the person that you are negotiating over their position that, hey, we are not here to push you out of your seat, but we are here to negotiate. That alone gives overall control to that person controlling that seat before you even start negotiation. And so if Oburu Odinga was representing the interest of the ODM party, and if their previous meeting had settled on the interest of the ODM party being the deputy president seat, then Oburu Odinga should have not shied away from saying that they are calling for the deputy president seat, even if Kindiki was sitting there. But it seemed that convenience of friendship overclouded a party interest, and for political party and the weightness of the political party, if you take a look at our other episode at the Civic Lens, you'll understand how even President William Ruto himself insists on the importance of political parties living beyond the presidency. And so people feel that Oburu Odinga at that particular point weakened the negotiating front of the ODM party moving into the broad-based arrangement, which might put the ODM party at a very bad position when it comes to the negotiating front in that broad-based arrangement. Now, much as that has been said, I want to deviate a little bit to a story that was made, or a comment that has since been made by the Secretary General of the very ODM party, Honorable Edwin Sifuna, who has distanced himself from the statements of Oburu Odinga and now says something different. He says first, he's still holding that he's in the one-term position, and he's also saying that while the party leader anaongelea vitu kama extra seats being given, that doesn't mean that if they are given another ministry like the agricultural ministry, then now they're in broad-based government. Ladies and gentlemen, as we wind this part of the episode, please listen to this part and what does the Secretary General of the ODM party now says while having an interview with Yvonne Okwara, a very senior journalist in the country, after just the speech of Oburu was publicly made.
To support William Ruto in 2027. This is why the Central Committee said they will talk with different political formations. That is the position of the party. So, democracy dictates that people have views on things. I cannot begrudge anyone who thinks that supporting William Ruto is the best thing. And I like some of them, by the way, because they have come out boldly to say, after Raila died, my party leader is now so and so. They have said it openly, which is what actually democracy requires. And nobody can begrudge you for taking that position. But also, don't feel bad when people take positions that are opposed to yours. Now, Yvonne, when we go argument by argument, my personal feeling is that we will win every single argument. In fact, we have won every single argument on values, on ideology, on where the country needs to go, the sort of society we need to build. There is only one argument they are saying is remaining, and it's a physical fight. You understand? And you know, violence is the language of somebody who has lost the argument. These days, all they do is just to threaten, oh, we will come, we will kick you out, we will throw you out, we will beat you, including Yvonne. Can you believe it? That goons were allowed into the venue of a central committee meeting in Kilifi, and you could hear them even on your hot mics shouting there. You know, it was quite unfortunate. So what we are saying is this, let us have a session where we persuade each other.
So what option?
You tell me this is the best deal. We went in with 5 ministries, tumeongezewa agriculture, now we are happy. And that's it. No discussion on values, no discussion on expanding the democratic space, freeing up.
Now you see, the ODM party is still, ladies and gentlemen, divided on that, because as Sifuna is talking about values and the things that President William Ruto had to enrich, of course, the other members of the party, including the party leader Oburu Odinga, is looking at resources and the additional government control that they have. The decision on how will they reach the broad-based conversation or which way will the ship sway, of course, waits until the 7th of March 2026, when the last statement and report on the 10-point agenda will have been delivered to both parties, and now both parties will have a decision to make moving forward. It's been a pleasure recapping for you that story here at the People's Mirror. Keep it here for our second episode, but also interact with our other channel, that is the Civic Lens KE, our parent channel. We are back and we're detailing for you more political stories in that end.